The average savings rate for Americans hovers around 3 to 5% of their take-home pay. This is why the average retirement savings at 65 is just $220,000, which is far too low for retirement for most people. Interestingly, in 2020, when the world faced a historic shutdown due to the COVID pandemic, the savings rate skyrocketed to over 30% at one point. This proves people can save much more when motivated. It also highlights their needs like housing and food are not the cause of the low savings rate, but instead their wants like shopping, eating out, and vacations are the real issue. Let's delve into how to calculate savings rate, tips to increase it, and stick around until the end where I'll reveal what a good target savings rate is. Before we calculate our current savings rate, let's debunk the common misconception that earning more automatically equals more savings. In 2022, 78% of those earning less than $50,000 lived paycheck to paycheck or had no savings. This number only gradually decreases as income increases. Amazingly, of those earning over $200,000 annually, 33% still live paycheck to paycheck. So what does this tell us? While higher income certainly helps with saving, without proper financial planning, the trap of lifestyle inflation can persist regardless of your income. Now, let's get into calculating your current savings rate. I'll use some average figures for this calculation, but you can easily change them for your own situation. The median annual salary in the US is $60,000, so that's what I'll use for this example. So this is $5,000 per month. After taxes, your monthly take-home pay is $4,267 based on New York tax rates. The next step is to work out your monthly expenses. These can be broken down into fixed and variable. Fixed expenses include items such as rent or mortgage, while variable expenses cover groceries, entertainment, and more. Assuming these total $3,400, we can subtract the expenses from the take-home income to have a total monthly savings of $867. Using our savings rate formula, this works out at a savings rate of about 17%, which would be well above the average 3 to 5% mentioned earlier. I encourage you to perform these calculations for your own situation and let me know in the comments what your savings rate is. If you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button. So assuming we're saving 17% or $867 a month, let's explore how you can adjust your savings to achieve specific financial goals. For example, if your goal is to save $25,000, at this rate, you'll reach this goal in about 2.5 years. But what if you wanted to save the $25,000 in just 1.5 years? Well, you'd need to be saving $1,388 a month instead of the $867. This would require some substantial cutbacks, particularly in variable spending, but it's certainly an achievable goal. But how much should you really be saving? To determine the ideal savings rate for you, it's crucial to consider your current financial situation, including your current savings rate, income, expenses, and your future savings goals. Whether this is an exact dollar amount, like $100,000, or maybe just to have enough for you to retire. I find it beneficial to set different savings goals for myself in terms of short-term and long-term goals. Short-term savings goals can be on a month-to-month basis, whereas long-term goals can be more focused on retirement savings. For a more precise estimate of a target savings rate, I encourage you to try out this savings rate calculator after this video. I'll leave a link in the description. This calculator allows you to input various values like annual income, expenses, current savings, and your savings rate, and it'll calculate how much money you'll have in the future and also how many years it'll take you to retire. Now, you're probably still wondering why I haven't given an exact percentage on what the perfect savings rate is. And the reason for this is that it largely depends on your own situation and things like your salary, how much debt you have, where you live. But to give you a rough range, I believe a 15 to 20% savings rate is a great target, as it's attainable with a bit of work but not too high that you can't still enjoy your life. Of course, the higher you can make your savings rate, the quicker you'll reach retirement. Now that we know how much we're currently saving and what our saving goal is, the next step is to figure out how to save more. This can be done in two simple ways: cutting back on your expenses and increasing your income. Cutting back on your expenses includes reducing the amount you eat out in restaurants, buying coffee in Starbucks, going on expensive holidays, acquiring any high-interest debt, or any buy now, pay later schemes. Consider setting up automatic transfers directly into your savings account. This way, you'll be less likely to spend the money, since it'll never be sitting around in your checking account in the first place. On the other hand, when it comes to boosting your income, you have several options. Take up a second job in the evenings or on weekends. Alternatively, you could pick up extra shifts or overtime at your current job. Consider starting a side hustle like freelancing, washing cars, and cutting grass. You'll be surprised with how quickly this extra money adds up. Saving more money is a combination of earning more and spending less. You really must try improve both together to maximize your progress. If you enjoyed today's video, maybe you'd like to check out this video on how much money you should have saved by age.